Okay, number 5, we want to solve each system using multiplication and addition using the elimination method. So for number 5, you're going to look at each of these terms in columns to find out which column we should eliminate. So I'm going to eliminate the y column. I have a positive y and then a positive 5y. In order to eliminate these, you have to have the opposite number in same variable. So the top equation, we want that to be -5. So in order to get that -5 so that they will cancel out, you have to multiply the whole equation by -5. That means that we're going to multiply each term by -5. So we're going to multiply 4x by -5, y by -5, and 5 by -5. So 4x times -5 is -20x. Y times -5 is -5y. 5 times -5 is -25. And then you're just going to rewrite your second equation underneath. Now we can add. We're going to add each column. So -20x plus 2x is -18x. My y column cancels out, and then -25 plus 7 is -18. So I'm going to divide by -18 to isolate x. And then I should get x equals 1. Now I'm going to take the x equals 1 and I'm going to substitute and plug in into one of these equations. I'm going to pick the second equation. I could have done it for the first equation, but I'm going to use the second one. So I'm going to write 2x plus 5y equals 7, and I'm going to plug in x. So 2 times 1 plus 5y equals 7. Multiply 2 times 1, which is 2. Since 2 is positive, we want to subtract it from both sides. And so we would be left with 5y equals 5. We'd have to divide by 5 on both sides to isolate y, and y equals 1. So our coordinates and our answer for number 5 is 1, 1. Okay, when you look at number 6, you have a column of x's and a column of y's. You could cancel out either or. You have a column of x's that say 7x and 3x. If we wanted to cancel these out, one would have to be negative 21x and the other one would have to be positive 21x. To do that, you'd have to multiply one of them by -3 and the other one by 7. Okay, because common multiple for 7 and 3 would be 21. If you wanted to cancel out the y column instead of the x column, you could do that. Common multiple for 2 and 6 would just be 6. So as long as you had one as -6y and the other as 6y, you could cancel those out. To get the top to be negative 6, you'd multiply that by negative 3. So you could do it either way. I'm going to eliminate the y column first because I will only have to multiply one equation by one number instead of having to multiply it by two numbers. So I'm going to multiply this whole entire top equation by negative 3 to cancel out the y's. That means I'm going to multiply each term by negative 3. So I'll end up with negative 21x minus 6y equals 12. And then I'll just rewrite my second equation. 3x plus 6y equals 24. And then I would add these. Negative 21x plus 3x is negative 18x. The y's cancel out. And 12 plus 24 is 36. You're going to isolate x by dividing by negative 18. So x equals negative 2. Now I'm going to use one of my original equations because I can't use any of the equations that I've already multiplied by. I have to use one of the original typed out equations. And I'm going to pick the first one because for number 5 I used the second one. Just to show you that it doesn't matter which equation out of the two that you use. So I'm going to plug in for x, which is negative 2. So 7 times negative 2 plus 2y equals negative 4. 7 times negative 2 is negative 14. Plus 2y equals negative 4. So I'm going to add 14 to both sides because it's a negative 14. I'm left with 2y equals 10. And divide by 2, divide by 2. And y equals 5. So my coordinates for number 6 are negative 2, 5.